Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Coach D, the Wild Man, with another episode of MMA Fight Camp. Let you know we are now sponsored by Fight Camp Promotion. They help us keep this train running. So if you're down with social media, you're down with digital marketing, check into Fight Camp Promotion, which is what I get down with, and we'll go over how to be better at social media, media branding, how to get your name out there, and how to get more into the sport of MMA. Okay, so you'll hear more about that in the future, so prepare for it. But today we're going to get into the business of MMA. Like, you ever hear me talking about the business of MMA versus the sport of MMA? You know, so what I decided to do, I'll go, okay, where are some of our top fighters at right now? What are they bringing in, and what makes them such a big draw? So what I did, I went ahead and got the top 10 fighters in MMA right now, and what I did is I looked at what they're making, and I also look at their Twitter followers. So does the money match up to their follower base? So I went ahead and got the top 10. Okay, so going from the lowest to the highest. So number 10, at number 10 as far as earnings, which you'll be surprised, in the top 10 is Tyron Woodley. Tyrone is making $1,010,000 as of 2016. So he's in the top 10. So I mean, he's one of the top earners, which if you look at how he's getting promoted, you wouldn't think he's making that kind of money, but according to the top 10 list, he is. Now his Twitter followers is 137K. 137,000 is his Twitter followers. So he's not crushing it by Twitter follower standards, but he's making good numbers. But does that equate to him making money? Is his followers meaning that he's a big baller? According to this, no. He's not super high. Okay? But he's there. All right, number 9 is Dominic Cruz. Dominic, for 2016, he made $1,020,000. Okay, so he's number 9 on the earning list. His Twitter followers is 2,700K, so 271,000. Okay, so good. He's almost doubling what Tyron Woodley's making, but he's only making 10,000 more in earnings. Now Dominic Cruz is a commentator, and so is Tyron Woodley. So they got a good base to reach the fans, because they talk more than it's not just fighting. They're on the air a lot more, so they should pick up more fans than what they have. So maybe it's just a growing curve. You know what I'm saying? All right. Number 3 is Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler is at 1,130,000. Okay, so he's considerably higher than Tyron Woodley and Dominic Cruz in the earnings list for 2016. So he's a fan favorite. Knocking people out. Fans are gonna follow. Okay, but his Twitter followers is 207,000. Okay, so he's not as high as Dominic Cruz, and he's definitely higher than Tyron Woodley. But as far as crushing it, I mean, he's not crushing it, but his earning power in the UFC is higher. Now, of course, Dominic Cruz has been out a lot longer, and Robbie Lawler has been fighting more. Okay, so that's where that fan base is coming from. He's been a lot more active than Dominic Cruz. So Dominic Cruz is making up ground fast. If you look at it that way. Okay, now check this out. Number 7 on the earning list is Anderson Silva. 1,285,000 is what Anderson Silva made in 2016. Okay, so he's doing well, as far as earnings spot, but he's only number 7 in the top 10. Now, granted, I got this list from lowkick.com. That's a low kick website from Ross Cole. So shouts out to Ross Cole from Low Kick. I got these stats from him when I googled it. He popped up. He had the most up to date information. So I went with him. So shouts out to Low Kick and Ross Cole for this information. So this is not my information. I ain't talking to these fighters. This is what the stats are giving me on Google. So, okay. Okay, so Anderson Silva, 1,285,000. Okay, now check this out. His Twitter followers, 7.84 million followers on Twitter. Okay, by far he is killing it. Nobody's even coming close. When I get up this list, you'll see he is the highest He has the highest followers on Twitter. So if you equate followers to money, he's coming up short. He's coming up short. He ain't making what he should make if you look at his Twitter followers. He is killing it Twitter-wise. So social media has his place. Okay. Now, of course, Anderson Silva not being, able to speak English, and he doesn't live. I don't think he lives here in the States. So there's not as much local access to him to build his star pace in the States. So I can see where that coming from. But for him being from Brazil, he has a huge following between here and the States. So boom. Okay. Number 6, Dan Henderson. 1,540,000 earnings last year. Never had a belt in the UFC, but he is the 6th highest earner. Okay, and look at Dan Henderson. He's not a trash talker. You know what I'm saying? He don't necessarily run his mouth. I mean, he's a knockout artist. Okay, but he's been in the game probably the longest on his list, of course. Considering his age, and he's been at every major promotion and held the belt minus the UFC. So I can see where his star power comes. He holds a lot of belts across the board. Nobody has as many belts across the board as he does. Okay? So, but his Twitter followers is 484,000. So he's doubled most of the guys on the list minus Anderson Silva. So he has that fan base to kind of equal his pay. So boom, he's there. Okay? After that, number 5 is Alistair Overeem. 1,884,000. Okay? So he's crushing it. Like I said, he's a top 5 earner for 2016. Twitter followers is 462,000 is his Twitter followers. Okay? So, like I said, still fair numbers. He ain't that much higher. Matter of fact, he's lower than Dan Henderson, but he makes more than Dan Henderson. I guess it comes down to how active a fighter is. You know what I'm saying? Popular across the board. He's been in other promotions. So if you've been in other promotions, you're probably going to be making more. That's my take on it. You bring a higher star power into the UFC. That's not everybody, but Number 4, Brock Lesnar. Okay, now he's pretty much done doubled everybody else. 2,505,000 is what Brock Lesnar brought in for 2016, and he hasn't fought but one time in 2016. Wow. Okay. Heavy hitter. Okay. Twitter followers, 908,000. Okay. So like I said, he's doubling most of these guys minus Anderson Silva. So his Twitter following kind of matches his pay grade. If you look at it from that point of view, they look like it's matching up. Okay. Now, guess who beats Brock Lesnar? Nate Diaz comes in at number 3 top earner for 2016 with 2,600,000. All right, so top 3. Think about it now. In the top 10, the top 3 earners, Nate is number 3. Figure it out. Everybody's been been blackballing him. He couldn't get fights. He lost his fight. His record doesn't match up, but top earner. So that says something about star power. Is it because of Nate? Is it because of O'Connor? Who knows? But you can't not see how he just rolled up the ranks quickly. Okay. His Twitter followers is 855,000. Okay, so he's even less than Brock Lesnar, but he's crushing it dollar-wise. Okay, now you get into your heavy hitters. There's only 2. I'm pretty sure you know who they are. Number 2 is Ronda Rousey, 3,030,000. Okay, still one of the highest paid MMA fighters in history. In history. Now I think she only fought twice or twice last year, maybe 2. I'm probably 1. Okay. Twitter followers, 3.43 million followers on Twitter. So she's crushing it. So it definitely matches up dollar-wise. Okay. So you see what I'm saying? It equals out. The more followers you got, that cash is gonna follow. You know what I'm saying? Okay, caution number one, you know who it is. Conor McGregor. I'm gonna give it his Twitter followers first. 3.86 million followers in Twitter. Okay, so when he speaks, people listen. Making 7,770,000. He has tripled everybody else but Ronda Rousey. No, he's doubled Ronda Rousey, tripled them 4 times everybody else. Okay, so he top bread earner out of a doubt. You know, but social media, he's crossed over. Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor, they both crossed over. That's why their numbers are getting where they're at. There ain't no doubt about it that they're actually star power. Okay, I did all that to say, okay, when it comes to making money, what has to happen as fighting goes? As you see, most of these fighters are winners. You know, they have a pretty decent win record. I mean, Nate Diaz, Alistair Overeem, even Dan Henderson, their record is, you know, it's not stellar compared to some of the other ones, but they have a longer history in the sport, and they've done their share of winning, and winning with the right people. Okay, so you see how they're at that top spot. But where I'm leaning with this is going, okay, so what's happening now? Where your star is going to come from now, and how are they going to rebrand themselves to be in that top spot? Okay, and I bring up Demetrius Johnson. Okay, he's going to fight this Saturday coming up. Okay, and he's going to, if he wins, he would have tied Anderson Silva's record for the longest belt holder in the UFC. There's nobody who's hold the belt as long as he has consecutively. Okay, but as you see, he's not on this top 10 list. Okay, why wouldn't he be? He is the longest. He will be tied for the longest reigning champion that the UFC has ever had. Okay, so right now he's number 2. So, but yet he doesn't have the star power of everybody else. Okay, so what do these other fighters have that Demetrius Johnson doesn't have? Okay, he has a better record than Tyron Woodley. I think he has a better record than Dominic Cruz. Okay, so I'm gonna double check it. I could be wrong, but like I said, he only lost twice. He only lost twice. Okay, he lost once to Dominic Cruz, and he lost once to I can't think of his name, but he only lost twice in the UFC. So, longest winning fight streak to date of active fighters with a belt. Okay, but yet he's nowhere near in this cash range. So what makes him so unpopular that he's not making this kind of money? And I should have put his Twitter account on here, but I was going with the top 10 list that was given to me by Ross Cole. Chop again. So, why isn't he not the top guy? Why isn't he not having the fanfare? I mean, his fights are pretty exciting. His technical skill is without question. He's currently the pound for pound best in the UFC, but yet he's not making the waves. So, is it because he's not getting enough push, or simply he's not that exciting, or bottom line, he's not putting the butts in the seats? Which is what I'm hearing. Without butts in the seats, you ain't gonna make the grade. Okay, but Tyron Woodley's been accused of not putting butts in the seats. Okay, but yet he's still in the top 10. So what's the difference? So that's the question that we're going to be going over in the future to come about making money in the sport of MMA. Why do some fighters make it? Why do other fighters don't make it? That's what we're going to go over. Now look at Gegard Mousasi, who just beat Chris Weidman this past Saturday. Controversial fight. Got a lot of poor press on it because the referee had a bad stoppage. Some people were saying that illegal knees, but it proved to be not legal knees. So the fight couldn't continue. TKO for Gegard Mousasi. Okay? But Gegard Mousasi's complaint was, look, I'm one of the best in the business. I beat a lot of the guys that are making more money than me. Why are they making more money than me, and I've already beat them? So as you see, ranking has no bearing on your fighter status. Gegard Mousasi is, I think, ranked number 4th right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably saying 4, 3 or 4. I mean, no lower than 5. I'm going to say 4 though. Okay, but yet he's not making that money that he thinks he should be making. And that's his biggest complaint. I beat these guys, I should be making more money. So why isn't Gegard Mousasi making more money? You know, he fights primarily in the States. He's from, you know, one of the European countries. So why don't he demand fighting more in the European countries where he can make more money? Of course, the UFC is state based, so I can see why. But like I said, Gegard Mousasi has a great argument to why he should be making more money. Okay, so when you look at it, what makes you a top earner in the UFC? Look at Rumble Johnson, who just retired. He's been ranked number 2 in the UFC. No, number 1 in the UFC for a minute. You know, beat everybody below him, but Daniel Cormier. But he hasn't made the number 110 spot. Okay, now granted, everybody here has been belt holders at one point or another. He has not. Okay, but he's been ranked number 1, so he's the top next to not having a belt. But yet he hasn't made a top 10 list too, and he knocks out everybody. So once again, what makes a great fighter? You know, if you look at Robbie Lawler, knockout artist, so is Rumble Johnson. Robbie Lawler is more popular. Why? Okay. Tyron Woodley, knockout artist, so is Rumble Johnson, not as popular. Why? See what I'm saying? So it's still getting into what makes that fighter as far as paydays go. Because the only person Rumble Johnson has lost to has been Dimitri. Well, no, take it back. Recently, since he's been back in the UFC, only person he has lost to is Rumble Johnson. Okay. Overall record, okay, not the best, but since he's been back, unbeatable. See what I'm saying? Other than, you know, Daniel Cormier. Who did I say? Yeah, Daniel Cormier is the only one who's been beaten him. Okay, so what makes a top prospect for earning? You know, so this is what we're going to go through in the months to come is what does it take to start making money, which means I'm getting more into digital marketing for MMA to figure out what it takes to beat a star. What's the ingredients? What goes into it? So that we can figure out how to get other fighters to get on that level too. It can't be just either I like you or I don't like you. It can't be because based off the Twitter followers, these fighters should make more money. Okay, then you go high rankings, still don't make that much money. So why is that? You know, why is Demetrius Johnson not on the top 10 list of earnings when he's the longest reigning, you know, belt holder in the UFC? See what I'm saying? That's what we're going to go through. Once again, we're talking about what fighters should be doing to make that money. I'm starting with the upper ranks. I will be going into amateur ranks and lower ranks and other promotions on my next video. So that's what I'm saying. Follow me, see where it goes. This is Coach D. Of course, follow me on Facebook. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Matter of fact, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to this page. Get it up there so I can get my numbers up so I can do what I do and we can keep it going. All right, this is Coach D, the Wild Man. Another episode of MMA Fight Camp sponsored by Fight Camp Promotion. Till you hear from me again, peace out.
Yeah.